Joining me now on the Daily Ledger Page 5 beat from Southern California, president of Wilsey Asset Management, Brent Wilsey. Brent, really, this is a huge moment in American history. Oil exports exceeded imports. Man, you know, if the people who were alive, I remember the 70s. I remember what happened, the oil export situation back then. If Ronald Reagan were alive today, he'd be popping champagne corks.
Oh, Graham, this is so huge. I mean, I remember 73, probably a little bit, you were young back then, but
Yeah.
73, I mean, the oil embargo crippled our country. I mean, gas was like, I remember paying 28 cents back then, it went to 50 cents. I mean, it was a terrible time, and we were at the mercy of OPEC. Well, things have now changed. Our oil production is about the same now as Saudi Arabia on a daily basis and Russia. So we will not be in that same situation again. And Graham, this is really beneficial for our economy as well because we can keep oil prices, gas prices low here.
Good for national security as well. We need that domestic oil. Now, the Chinese economy is sinking, apparently. You never know about the Chinese numbers, how accurate they are. But when you look at the Chinese economy, the president is tweeting about it. China just announced that their economy is growing much slower than anticipated because of our trade war with them. China wants to make a big and very comprehensive deal. It could happen rather soon. That's good news. You'd think the markets would react in a positive way to that, but these days the markets are kind of odd. But the bottom line is this is the Trump doctrine, and he's trying to execute it with the Chinese, and that is play fair, trade fair, or pay the consequences.
Yeah, and China's economy, it is a slowdown of growth, not a declining economy. And the growth is slowing down because of their industrial production was like 5.2%, missed the 5.9 estimate. Retail sales 8.1, missed the estimate at 8.9. There's something called the ugly report and so forth. This is really not that bad. But Graham, what's going on here is that the front loading, trying to get all these products in before the big tariffs come in, is now seeming to be slowing down. So they could have more slowdown in the near term, especially if we make an agreement with them over the next few months. Their economy could slow down even more. But I do want to point out this is so important, Graham, because their economy growing at 6% per year, that will double in 12 years versus our economy in at 3% will take 12 years. So in 24 years, their economy will be bigger than ours. So it's so important that we keep them pressed that we've got to keep these tariffs, in a free trade because their economy, I think in 25 years, could be bigger than ours.
Again, if they're producing accurate numbers and not fudging the numbers. So are the markets reacting to no trade deal yet? I mean, there's another 500-point dive on Friday. Is it because of that? Are they anticipating the Fed? Is it because of what's happening in Europe? Brexit not happening with Brexit? What?
Well, it's kind of global growth is kind of like, oh, that's slowing down. And again, you've got to understand global growth slowed down, not a decline. That's a big difference there. But our markets right now, the fundamentals on companies are very strong. The economy here in the U.S. is very strong. What is happening is that there's negative sentiment on investors. But again, I'd point out to people, the volume you see is less than 1%. So the crowd we're following is very, very small, but it's causing the market to decline.
Interesting.
And also, negative sentiment is actually bullish because it will change, and when it changes, the markets will go back
So in other words, this might be a nice buying opportunity. Of course, we have the Fed making their announcement next week about what they're going to be doing with interest rates, and of course, when they do, we will have that. Brent, thank you.
You're welcome.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.